Hi, I'm back again, but for a change, this time not with a song. I'm going to read out a few lines that I found very randomly in one of the books by Paulo Coelho. This is like the flowing river, because over the weekends I go through my books in the most random manner. There is really no order, no preference as such. I just look for answers to my random thoughts, queries, and concerns about life. I don't look for information when I read for leisure, and when I read to refine the purpose of my life. I look for wisdom in these treasures. And finding this book was the result of one such random search. In this particular chapter, Paulo Coelho has mentioned a few lines by one of the Japanese poets, Mitsuo Aida, and then he has given his reflections, his thoughts towards the end of this chapter. I'll read out a few lines by the Japanese poet, and then I'll read out for you what Paulo Coelho has to say. Okay, if tomatoes wanted to be melons, very interesting. If tomatoes wanted to be melons, they would look completely ridiculous. I'm amazed always that so many people are concerned with wanting to be what they are not. What's the point of making yourself look ridiculous? Then in the next one, he says, the Japanese poet says, you don't always have to pretend to be strong. There is no need to prove all the time that everything is going well. You shouldn't be concerned about what other people are thinking. Cry if you need to. It's good to cry out all your tears, because only then will you be able to smile again. And then he also says, because it has lived its life intensely, the parched grass still attracts the gaze of passers-by. The flowers merely flower, and they do this as well as they can. The white lily, blooming unseen in the valley, does not need to explain itself to anyone. It lives merely for beauty. Men, however, cannot accept that merely. Intense, yeah. And then towards the end of the chapter, Paulo Coelho says, I want to be someone capable of seeing the unseen faces, of seeing those who do not seek fame or glory, who silently fulfill the role life has given them. Then he further goes on to say that he wants to be able to do this because the most important things, those that shape our existence, are precisely the ones that never show their faces. And I found this book and these answers, as I said, very randomly yesterday when I was cleaning my bookshelf, because I was too much into this thought that why do we all have to chase the same dreams or set of dreams? Basic necessities we all have, but that do not become the purpose of life. So what is the purpose of life? And of course, we are in the materialistic world, and when everybody around us are chasing those very materialistic dreams, we also end up doing that at some point, or most of the times. But then I get this inner calling, inner knocking, that is this necessary, or is this really the purpose of my life? And trust me, I was in that frame of mind that, is this the purpose of my life? I am running after a few dreams, running after, fulfilling a few aspirations. And some people would say that life is all about having and fulfilling the dreams that we see. Fair enough, but is there anything that we still want to chase once our dreams are fulfilled? And I think that's why when I was looking for the answers to these dilemmas, these questions, I found this book and I found this chapter very randomly, and how beautifully it kind of takes me to a different universe altogether, where the beauty, I can already see that the beauty lies not in proving anything, not in fame or in glorifying what we have achieved in life. It's about also becoming the silent contributor to the way the world is shaping up, to the way the humanly emotions are getting developed, because it's all in the air. What we think, what we spread in the form of energy, in the form of vibration, eventually remains around and forms the basis of the existence. That's all I had to say. Yeah, towards the end it became too layered, but I hope you get the message. Thank you so much.